Good afternoon. This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr., signing in on Earth. Well, I think what I'll basically do now is deal with my books and my projects when I do my broadcast. And what has happened is that I have been doing some very, very serious thinking about one of my books now, and I thought that I would share this with my viewing audience, the thoughts that have evolved from my cranium. I think this is called a cranium. I want to talk about outer space travel, basically. Going to going to other universes. And the thing is, I think what I'll do, my book, Let's Talk, right now I'm in the middle of editing my next book, which is called Let's Talk. And what happens is my main character, he goes into outer space. But I'll give you a background of what I'm talking about. Here I have a cab driver who drives cab in Los Angeles. And he gets caught in an earthquake. And what has happened is he ends up in a coma. And he has a dream. And everything, most of this novella takes place in his head. And where he goes to these places far out into outer space. He goes billions and trillions of miles away from our universe. But what happens is, when he travels, now he's traveling in his mind. When he goes to these way out universes, he gets replicas of Earth. You know, it's quite the story that I'm talking about is called it's complicated, it's complex. But it's not that complicated, and it's not that complex. I'm dealing with a character who has a dream. He's in a coma, and while he's in this coma, he experiences outer space. And what happens is that he finds that when he goes into outer space, that things, he goes into a duplicate world, or he goes into worlds which are like the Earth, but he's not on the Earth. And so I've looked at the book. And I think what I'll do is, outside of the story, I'm trying to think of good illustrations to make it a worthwhile book to open and to just enjoy reading. And the thing is, I'm trying to have that book finished. I'll have that book finished. I'm going to have, the book is, it's almost like a rewrite. I'm getting a lot of my material and I'm putting it together. So that book, Let's Talk, it should be completed by the end of this month. I want to talk about things about outer space right now. If you have been following me, I indicated to my viewing audience that personally, outer space travel is a fiction. And we have our imaginations, and then we can go anywhere with our imaginations. Sometimes we trip up mankind. We trip up on our imaginations, and we do crazy things. Okay, I guess I'm what you call a conspiracy theorist. Now, what's going on with, okay, you have these weather issues that are going on, especially in the U.S. and in the West. These floods and tornadoes and all these things. Now, you have them all over the world. It is my belief, and it is my belief that these are man-made because of man's knowledge of technology. And at this very moment, I truly believe that we are at war. The world is at war. And what happens is, one enemy fights the other enemy by controlling the weather in his enemy's territory. Now, who are the enemies? I don't know who the enemies are, but I really think that these storms that we've been having recently, they are horrific. They are unbelievable. It's like that when these storms hit these particular places, only those who are in control of the operations know what's going on here. But they hit in these particular places, and after they hit these particular places, it's like a bomb has been dropped in that particular location. So I am I guess you would call the conspiracy theorist. I guess a conspiracy theorist is one who doubts the assertions, the one who doubts the statements that the conventional world make. Now, I was touched about this outer space travel thing, and I said, let me get on my network and talk to my listening audience. I'm sure there are some people there are a few people out there. When I look at my statistics, it seems like people are tuning in on my messages. So I figured, I will be doing regular discussions, and basically those regular discussions will deal with my books, and my books deal with the realities and the unrealities. But I try to deal with subjects that I know that would interest particular readers. Outer space travel. Okay, I believe that Earth has been visited by outer space invaders, entities, living entities. I'm saying, here's my belief about the whole thing about outer space travel. Me, you, those of us who are human beings, who are 100% human beings. Okay, man, this artificial intelligence. Okay, man is beginning to make these robots, and then who knows where man will go with these robots? Maybe these somewhere down the line, these robots will be I'm only using my imagination. Okay, somewhere down the line, maybe now, maybe later, or maybe it may have already happened in the past. Man gets involved with artificial intelligence. Okay, maybe man will combine robots with human beings. In other words, he is a human being that's made up of more than the organs that we know of, but he's made up of instruments created by man. Maybe in the past, maybe in the future, man was, or man will be able to integrate technology and the human anatomy. I think that maybe this planet Earth has been visited by other life. I don't, maybe there is that other life, maybe it exists as we exist. I think that maybe that other life came at a time when we were not what we are, as we know, the flesh and the blood. I won't dismiss that aliens have come to the earth. Now, if aliens have come to the earth, it is in their nature, that peculiar type of alien who has come from another universe or another galaxy or another planet, it is still peculiar to that particular entity, human living entity. And that type of living entity is so great, so sophisticated, I mean, the intelligence is so great that we know nothing of it. It may know of us, that invader from another universe. It may know of us. But I don't think we in this flesh and blood, as we exist in the human form, I don't think that we know it. But just because that's what I think, that doesn't necessarily mean that that is what is. I don't think that men who are born from human beings, who are born with flesh and blood like myself, and you probably said, maybe you, Musa, you would never go to the moon. But then you may look at me and say, you, because of your biochemical makeup, you would not go to the moon. But you may say that I can go to the moon because you may have a knowledge that I don't have. But the knowledge that I have tells me that human beings cannot travel, will not travel into outer space. When these guys who are operating who orbit in the satellites or work in outer space, these guys, the space stations, these guys they're not even 200 miles away from the Earth. It's just that they're just way up there. But what about 1 trillion miles from the Earth? 1 million miles from the Earth? 100 million miles from the Earth? I don't think that it's like us. Now, that's infinitive. See, when we talk about infinitive, we're talking about a non-ending thing. So, I do believe that there are duplicate human beings, like duplicate universes, duplicate Earths that exist out there in the infinite universe. But us, we, human beings who live on the planet Earth, as we know the planet Earth, none of us, if in the flesh, would be able to do outer space travel. Well, okay, there's a satellite that's sent, right at this very moment, there's a satellite that's been out in space for many, many years. And as I understand it, this satellite is gone millions of miles away from the Earth, and that satellite is able to send messages back to human beings here on Earth. Okay, but okay, man was able to, okay, he was able to create that satellite that keeps going. But do you think he will be able to make a satellite to continue to go trillions and millions of miles away and then come back and bring some of the lives, the other types of lives back to Earth? My theory of destination, of predestination, it says that mankind, as we know it, will never experience way, way out there. And what I'll do, I have to really work on it before I present it to my listening audience, the formula, my predestination formula. I really want to work on it before I present it to my listening audience. But in the meantime, I would suggest that you go to the internet and pull up one of my books and purchase a book by Musa Matt Meacham Jr. And he is signing out on Earth.